There we are. We're live.
Hello.
They didn't see the countdown, but they're there.
Oh, here we are.
We're here. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the live stream.
No
Welcome
comments.
to the
Don't see
live
any
stream.
comments.
Steve is here. Bob is here. Everybody's here. Hello. And what day is it, everybody?
It's Wednesday.
Wednesday, my dudes. And that April 8th.
April 8th.
Yes, and
and
we're
2026.
You have 1 week to file your taxes.
And
Oh, Lord.
no war was or no.
All right, we're not there yet. Hold on, topics. Here's the topics. The moon, La Luna,
La Luna.
Suki, Yurlang, I think it is, and Moon. I tried to... tell me if I pronounced that right. Yurlang.
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 Can you
And
put
then
the chat up?
Moon. Yeah, I'll get that up in a second. That's Moon, I think is like Swedish or something. I don't know, whatever.
Did you guys
Scandinavian.
watch the NASA live stream during the close approach?
Yeah, I watched a lot of it.
Yeah.
No.
The thing is, I watched it
before.
all. I always had it running in the background, and then whenever they would chime in. But
Almost all excited.
the quality of the video that you're seeing on the live stream is not very good, obviously, because they have limited bandwidth.
Right.
Right.
Bastards.
It's highly compressed, you know.
They should run a cable.
Right. But then eventually NASA gets out the high quality pictures and video
Debunking.
once they were able to
Oh, we have-
download all the get all the information.
We have
Good
a video
stuff.
just for that. You watched that video, presumably, right? That complaining about that? All right, we'll watch it in a second. Never mind. Okay, I don't know if you guys have said.
I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, fine. Forget it.
Hey, somebody just called me Diablo, which is an
I like that.
ancient nickname from an old job where we would play Diablo. So
Diablo.
I'm very curious who that is.
Oh, they
They
know.
just made it up.
Hologram.
They probably just made it
They're
No.
they're a hologram. They're not even. Don't look. Moon geekery to the max. Yes, I know. We're doing. It's all moon-based stuff since something happened with the moon this last couple
the
of
moon's
days.
fine. The moon's not going anywhere.
All right, fine. Nothing happened with the moon specifically, but
up. You can't prove that, Ian.
if you look away from the moon, it stops existing. Isn't that argument?
You can't
Anybody?
prove it doesn't.
You can't prove it doesn't.
Yeah, it's kind of.
All right, so what are we talking about first?
All right, fine.
They
fine.
forget
We'll get started.
decoherence.
Well, just welcome everybody to the chat first. Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well.
Yes.
As you may have noticed, it's all moon-based stuff. I found a lot of crazy things. Maybe we'll do the first one. I think it's Artemis is boring, which is this jerk and his opinions.
Well, I don't think
boring.
that's really what he's saying.
Is that what he's saying? What is he saying?
He's saying that NASA isn't showing us the good stuff because they can't.
That's right. Yes. Okay. You're right. That it is that, but it's also like not giving the grace of it's like, yeah, dude, these like they're streaming from fucking forever, whatever. Okay. Let's just watch it and see what the dingus is saying. Here we go.
I'm not saying that the Artemis 2 mission is being faked, but what I am saying, and emphatically, is I'm underwhelmed right now. I was really excited for some cool stuff.
Hold on. Is anybody underwhelmed in here?
No.
I'm not underwhelmed.
I mean, what did he expect? Explosions and what?
No,
Well, he
I
lays
mean,
it out.
this is my sense. This guy is some kind of flat earther. NASA fakes everything,
Right.
idiot, right? And he's basically saying that whatever you were seeing from NASA, it isn't even more stuff. It isn't. We're not seeing again. It's like we're not seeing a video simultaneously showing the Earth turning as a globe. It's like how long it takes for that to happen.
Right.
Where you could visibly see the
Exactly.
horizon shifting.
He wanted to see the Earth turn.
Yes, let's get to it. Here, he goes into it, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Okay.
Yeah.
And I've seen about 10 still photographs, just static
video
images
a
that
lot
look
of data.
slightly better than the ones taken in 1969. Apparently from the exact same spot. They have a spot they like. They like to take a picture with the Earth about that big. And
Or they resized it to match the old photo. Like,
But that's what
how
the-
could
that's how big
Photoshop.
the Earth looks like when you're on the fucking moon. That's how big the Earth looks.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's they're showing like a image from 1969, right, and then the most recent one, and they're like the same size Earth. It's like, but because they made it that way.
Yeah, you
It's
think
like,
they might have normalized this?
But I saw a video showing clearly different sized Earths from roughly the same, and so some guy was going off on that. And one of them was ridiculous because it showed the Earth and it showed the moon in front of it, and he said it was from some probe. But I've also seen that image showing the difference in size of the moon Earth system. I don't know. I mean, who knows what the provenance is of those images? But it showed them. But it was
it's
just
not
ridiculous.
a single picture from that far away. You know what I mean?
Right.
The relative size of the Earth to the moon doesn't change. The only thing that would make the Earth look bigger or smaller is your f-stop, right, Ian?
Not the f-stop.
not the f-stop.
The
It
zoom.
would be like, yeah,
the
it would
telephone.
be
No, it's how far
it's
you
the type-
are-
I'm sorry, it is the type of lens.
the millimeter.
It's how
The
far you
millimeter
away.
of the lens.
Yeah, it's the lens and
The
how far you
focal
are away
length.
from it. If you're in low Earth orbit, or if you're by the moon.
And zooming, like on Earth, how many times have you seen in movies? It's such a dramatic shot where you see somebody standing and the moon is gargantuan.
Yeah.
And you could reproduce that naturally,
Yeah.
but you got to be really far away and you zoom
zoom
in.
in.
I mean, and then it looks ridiculously big. The way it maybe looked, a couple billion years ago. But that's just like depends on. There's so many ways to make it appear bigger or smaller, whatever. Who knows?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of all these videos. It's all basically anomaly hunting.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. There's people looking for
Yeah.
weird stuff that looks superficially weird to them in their ignorance.
But what did he
And
want,
that's their
Steve?
dumb.
What did he want to see?
Well, let's get to that because he articulates that as poorly as he does. But let's just listen to him.
and then they don't take any other pictures. And what an opportunity to really stick it to the flat earthers, except for every still image makes the Earth kind of look like a flat disc. So
What?
I don't know why.
I like that he's like they took all these pictures, but they didn't took any other pictures. It's like, but
But okay, so
I don't understand.
you have raw outer space, which there's stars out there. You could take a picture of the sun, you could take a picture of the moon, and you could take a picture of Earth, right? All from where they were at some point. Like when they were behind the moon, they couldn't see the sun. Okay, so what else does he want pictures of? You know what I mean? Like, what's the expectation here that there was going to be, some cosmic alignment or something? I don't.
No, just seeing something change. He says was one thing, or he said he wanted to see like a video of like you could see the crew and then the camera literally going over to the window and then showing the Earth. That's another thing he'll say.
Why?
But there are
I
pictures
think
of
there
the
are
crew in
pictures
the
of
Earth.
that. Yeah, I think there are pictures of that.
Yeah, but he wanted to see the panning, panning and go and looking out the window. Not a static image.
I'm
but
sure
I mean,
it all
this is-
exists. You know that the astronauts have iPhones.
Yeah.
They made sure they all had one to take their own pictures and video. And we're already starting to see some of it back. But of course, they are not here yet. As soon as they land back on Earth, we'll have access to whatever they took pictures of and videos of on their phones.
Well, that's if they don't get infected with some weird biology on the moon, which is another thing we got to talk about.
Yeah, okay.
I'm kidding.
They're not even
Oh, okay.
Here we go.
So many,
You're doing that. I don't need an interview
Scaring me.
with the crew telling me how they eat soup out of a pouch. Take the camera to the window and shut up and just let me see it. I don't know. Why isn't there something mounted on the outside that just constantly gives me video of the Earth? Show me something with movement. Show me weather patterns moving on the Earth. Show me rotation of the Earth, zoomed out so you can see the entire sphere rotate. You really want to blow my mind? Show me some upside down flying planes. That's what Daddy wants to see. A skyline of a major city. Upside down with planes flying
mount a super powerful telescope
like that. That's
on the ship in order to make this
all
guy
I want.
happy.
Yeah,
And I'm getting none of that. And
This guy's going to say it's fake anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, most of what he's saying, why aren't we seeing this? It exists. It's just that again, where the Orion capsule is far away, and they only have so much data they could transmit to the Earth, and they have like important data to transmit to the Earth, not just pictures for this asshole.
He thinks that they could have.
We'll get it all eventually. Let the thing freaking land first.
Oh, but that's, then they can do everything in post, Steve. All right, so he wanted.
Why didn't they just text it to him?
He wanted
Movement.
a camera on the Artemis that could zoom in to the Earth so far,
powerful.
like so powerful that it could see a plane
It's
like
not going to happen.
flying, from a top down perspective, like the plane would be flying like this, and then you'd see one on the bottom side that would be flying upside down.
Why can't
according
you
to-
zoom into Sydney from the moon?
Yeah.
I think people do you think this is a fault of like movies and media giving a false perception of what space is like?
I think it's a manifestation of stupidness.
Okay, well, there's that too. Okay,
I mean,
was trying to give
this
him
is
an
a
out.
classic denialist strategy, which is demand evidence that doesn't exist or can't exist.
Yeah.
Just whatever the evidence exists is never enough. Always ask for something more,
Yeah. Move the
just
goalposts.
arbitrarily,
Right.
without knowing what's really there or what would be involved with that or what
Yeah,
the
like-
expectation would be.
NASA's not going to spend $1 billion on a camera to, prove to flat earthers that the Earth is round. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it's not.
Which
that's-
wouldn't work anyway because they just think everything NASA does is fake.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was that one, dingus. Let's see if there's some more moon-based stuff. I mean, the classics are the Kubricks. Or were there any of those videos that you wanted me to pull from?
I
top
there
of
was
mind?
the one guy just repeating moon landing hoax tropes as if they're his own ideas,
Yeah. Oh, well,
without even addressing that these are all long debunked nonsense. I mean,
know.
you could play that.
all right,
really
let me
quick.
go down. Let me go down the list, and we'll just do it in order.
I'm going to give you all a lesson in
I don't
rocket
even know what
science
this guy's
today.
talking about.
Okay?
This
Guy.
guy's just
Rocket science, all traced back to
tip, eat
one
before
guy.
you record.
His name is Jack Parsons. Jack Parsons
Is that
was
his shtick?
a
Yeah.
student of Aleister Crowley, the English black magician and occultist, who made it his life's mission to traverse the globe, collect all of the different esoteric and occultic knowledges and disciplines that he could, and then repackage them into something we know as pop culture. The guy's whole fucking mission was to take all of the forbidden knowledge that he could and make it digestible for mankind, specifically the West. And anyway, so Jack Parsons, who's a documented pedophile and admitted student of the dark arts, also
arts.
best friends with L. Ron Hubbard. He's the one who innovated rocket science. You gotta understand. You know what? I'll read you guys this just so this is off Wikipedia, by the way, just so you know the kind of shit this guy was up to. In 1945, Parsons began a series of rituals based on Enochian magic, during which he
right, enough of
masturbated.
this.
Okay.
All right, so let me just summarize this
Wow.
for you
Missed
guys.
this out right
I
at the
will
right
explain everything. Ready? This will explain it. This guy is high as shit. That's all we need to
He's
know.
got the munchies,
That's all we
clearly.
need to know. That's it. There's nothing else to discuss. It's gobbledygook coming out of a high mind, and that's it.
Thank you.
Next.
So you're saying there's nothing there? Okay, I see. What are you trying to hide, Jay?
I'm trying to keep our listeners interested.
I mean, from the history, Jack Parsons was pretty fucking weird, but he was also a rocket engineer. But it's like, okay,
but so what?
He had a day job, and
Okay.
he was a weirdo.
And Hedy Lamarr.
That's Headley.
Headley.
What did she do? She did.
She
something
was
else.
the-
She
She basically invented Wi-Fi.
not
I think
Wi-Fi. She invented.
What was it?
She was doing research
She
that
invented the internet?
was the beginning of
Of
like.
frequency hopping spread spectrum
Thank you.
during the World War II. That's right. So it was the groundwork for modern Wi-Fi, GPS, and Bluetooth.
But
Yes.
they would not accept her papers.
Headley. Bastards. All right, so that guy's a weirdo, and that's fun. Let's move on to another moon one. Let's just go down the list of weirdos. Here we go.
In reflections.
This guy.
Yeah, this guy. This guy's.
Now look at this.
Very
In the reflection on the helmet, it looks like a neat row of movie lights.
Does that look like a neat row of movie
No,
lights?
it doesn't.
What?
So, all of these things are long debunked. So that's just the light, the sunlight reflecting off of smudges on the helmet. You can see these when they're on Earth, and if you zoom in on those, it's not a neat row of circular lights. They're irregularly spaced and they're smudged. They're irregularly shaped, as well. It's nonsense.
and such lights could not reproduce what you see in the pictures on the moon. It would require not stage lights, which would diverge and be detectable. It would require parallel light rays, like from some source 93 million miles away.
but yet bright enough to illuminate.
Right,
the-
and something that literally could not have been created at that time artificially. It
Yeah.
would require, parallel like laser beams that would be unable to be created in the late 60s. So basically impossible to create on a stage what we see in the pictures on the moon.
Yeah,
That's one of the biggest. That's a top 3 or top 5, like absolute proof that this was not on a stage.
and
And
the
this
light,
was real.
why would there be studio lights in that direction when the light source has to 100% be coming from, as we look at the image, from the left-hand side? I mean, his shadow is pegged in that direction. There isn't multiple
Right.
shadows. It's bullshit.
All right, well, maybe that didn't convince you, but how about this?
And look at the reflection on this photo.
What the heck is that?
Ah, look at that.
doesn't look anything like that.
What are you
doesn't-
talking
it
about? Look at the
barn doors?
Barn doors right there or something. Could be a squid.
It looks vaguely similar, but give me a break.
I mean, come on, dude. Really?
Vaguely similar doesn't buy it.
You
Again,
think-
it's anomaly hunting.
You think there's
Yeah.
a light right there? You telling me that they
Could
wouldn't?
be a ceiling fan. I don't know.
Oh my God! What are you doing? Wait, hold on a second. Hold on.
What?
This was in the '60s.
60s. Oh, blong blong.
What's
All
the
good,
point?
bud?
Yeah, fine.
Did they even have cans like that in the '60s?
Probably. Well, not this one specifically. Not whatever. Aperture. Probably not this brand, but they certainly had stage
Yeah,
lights of can. Like
barn doors.
I don't know.
Stage
I don't
lights.
know. I don't know.
in the
I wouldn't
60s.
assume
Yeah,
that. I
there was
wouldn't-
plenty. I mean,
Okay, this
film
is
and
another
TV.
common strategy of cranks and pseudoscientists. It's using like a superficial similarity to conclude that two things are in fact the same, when there's no details to show that this has to actually be the same thing.
All right. All right. Well, okay. That
So
didn't
this is a
convince
smudge
you.
that looks vaguely like a light, so we'll say that's a light.
What about this next thing? Let's
It
see.
looks a lot like a studio light with the barn doors open.
Yeah, it does. Well, but
Now here's a photo that shows
Aha.
what looks like a movie prop. This rock is labeled with the letter C.
All right.
explain
All
that,
right.
skeptics.
All right, so if you look, this is a classic example when you see stuff like this is, look at the original image.
Yeah.
If you look at that exact original image, there is no C there. So what must have happened is that when this was duplicated and copied, something was integrated like a hair or a thread on the image, and then that became the image that lots of people see.
Can we see it again?
The original does not have that.
Yeah, that's an artifact. It's a reproduction artifact that is not in the original photo. But also, nobody labels props like that. No one's like, oh, this is prop C. You know, this doesn't exist. Again, they're just looking for an anomaly and then retrofitting some kind of made-up explanation.
And
Look, it's a prop designation.
Also, wouldn't you put it on the
C.
bottom of the thing instead of somewhere you
like
can
you
see
put it
in
like
the
right.
shot?
It's like the money shot.
You
know?
don't even do that. They don't put whatever. They don't put letters on props to identify them or something.
What does
get the
C
C
stand for? Conspiracy? I mean,
Yeah,
conspiracy
you're
prop.
thinking, man.
There we go. All right, here we go.
But the crew
All right,
forgot
fine.
to remove the label when they started shooting.
They sure did.
How about this picture of the
Yeah,
landing
how about
module? Do those hills look like they're miles away?
Yes.
Or do they look
Or does
look
it
like
look
this
like-
was shot on a soundstage?
Aha! Does it look like this sound stage?
Because you know, I visit the moon all the time. I'm very familiar with the lunar horizon and what it looks like under those lighting and photographic conditions.
But one of the dramatic things about being on the moon is how close the horizon is, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
you're on an object that's a lot smaller than the Earth. So it's not 15 miles away like it is on the Earth. It's I don't know what it is, but it's much closer. And it's like that must be one of the more dramatic things about being on the moon. It's like, damn, look how close the horizon is.
Go ahead.
All right, here we go.
Speaking of those hills, this photo was supposedly taken a few miles away from the landing module. Then how come the backgrounds are identical?
They're not
Because they
identical.
use the same backdrop.
Now
It's
let's talk
clearly
about
from a
stars.
different angle.
On Earth, even with our thick
So those
atmosphere,
are mountains in the background that you're seeing from different angles.
Right, and probably
That could be miles
and could be
apart.
farther away. You know,
Yeah.
you could be a mile away and make a minimal difference in the actual size of the distant hill mountains, whatever they are.
All right, well,
All right, what's-
fine. What about now?
the sky looks like this. But on the moon, with no air, the sky is just black? Shouldn't the sky be full of stars?
No,
Why not?
it's so damn bright with no atmosphere in direct sunlight. It is so bright on that moon, and even whatchamacallit, everything, even the wow,
What are you trying
the
to
vacuum costume,
Yeah.
The spacesuit.
spacesuits. I'm leaving
Vacuum
that.
costume.
Even even the
he admits it.
spacesuits, even the
It has
spacesuits.
C for costume.
I want a
Vacuum
T-shirt that
costume.
says vacuum
Even
costume.
even the vacuum suits are absolutely have a
Yeah.
super high albedo. So your eyes just do this when you're on the moon. You're not
Do they
gonna
make that
you're not going to
noise?
see the stars. They actually make that noise. I even saw a video where they had astronauts saying, "Yeah, I don't remember seeing any stars." Yeah, and that makes perfect sense, either from pictures or the human eye. You're not going
Well,
to
he
see.
does that here.
But the other critical part of that is that there are astronauts who said if you go into a shadow and let your eyes dark adapt, you can see some of the brightest stars. So what about those guys?
So, one quick way to summarize all that picture he's showing on the Earth is at night, and the picture he's showing on the moon is at day.
And they were
That's
always-
daytime. It's just that the sky is black instead of blue because there's no atmosphere to scatter the light.
Yeah.
But
Right,
it's still
scattering-
daytime. That's
yes.
daytime on the moon. You don't see freaking stars.
And astronauts always landed on daytime. They weren't there at night, right? I mean, so that's another critical thing. You're not going to see pictures of them on the
In the
in the
darkness.
dark because
It's
they
also
weren't
a long,
there then.
It's a long exposure probably from the one on the Earth, right?
No, well, the moonshots are short exposure.
Right.
Yeah, the
I'm
one
saying
on the Earth.
Earth.
Yeah, you would need a long exposure.
To get,
on Earth.
Even
Now
at
let's
night,
talk
even
about-
at night, to
you
get a
don't
good
see it
picture
like
of stars,
that.
you need to
Like,
take
yeah.
a
Weren't they
prolonged
just,
exposure.
they were showing the stars moving on the Earth shot, weren't they?
Right. So that's clearly over a very long time showing that it's moving, right?
This has got to be the dumbest moon hoax information I've ever seen.
I mean, this guy is
It's so disingenuous.
Is just stars? NASA really thought this one through. If you're going to hoax something in space, the stars are a big problem. This is because by using a star map, you can not only get the precise location a photo was taken, you can even get the precise day and time. So they had to get rid of the stars.
When you
How
looked
do you
up,
find out?
Doesn't
what the
that
stars would
kind
have
of-
looked like?
if you can get the precise location and time, doesn't that imply that they are where they are, where the stars actually are? Not that they're like part of the firmament? Like if you can actually, triangulate where you are positionally,
Yeah.
you would have to be because they're actually in space, far away, not on the firmament, right?
Yeah,
Or-
don't confuse him.
Okay, I'm confusing myself with.
I can't. We can't see the image.
Oh,
It's
sorry.
very small.
All right, well, let's do the next one. This is, I think, a congressional hearing. Or
the
maybe it's
sky,
a news.
could you actually see the stars and the solar corona in spite of the glare?
This just media.
We were never able to see stars from the lunar surface or on the daylight side of the moon by eye without looking through the optics. I don't recall during the period of time that we were photographing the solar corona what stars we could see.
I don't remember seeing any.
Small problem. They use stars to help them navigate to the moon.
The astronaut navigator finds a known star in the wide-angle telescope. Using a fingertip control, he changes the attitude of the spacecraft to bring the star into line. Once he has the star in position in the telescope, he moves the optical sextant. He lines the sextant up with the star and makes a reading.
What's he looking through?
So are there stars or not? Which is it? There's a lot of evidence stacking up that doesn't look good for NASA or the moon landing.
Screw you, man.
So the guy contradicts himself in this own video. This is so mindless. The astronaut said, you can't see them with the naked eye, only with the optics. Right. Then he shows an example of them using the optics to see stars. He's like, well, which is it? You know, I mean, he can't even, it's so blatantly stupid. He can't even, internally, make this internally consistent in the own evidence that's given. He debunks himself in the own the own video he's showing.
I mean, that goes to show you could be so stupid that you could literally debunk your own statements back to back and you don't recognize that. Or Steve, he doesn't give a shit.
He's retrofitting, like he knows where he wants to be, and he's just making whatever argument he could think of.
Any path to get
he's
there,
not trying to find the actual truth or saying, is this really true? Have I really dotted every I and crossed every T?
Well, luckily, this is the only guy on the internet that does this, so it is. I'm being facetious. He's one of a plethora. All right, maybe we can skip this dingus. Let's go to another dingus. Here we go.
Yay.
Another moon dingus.
So let me get this straight.
Yes.
You think this is a real picture of Earth taken by the Artemis crew in outer space? Yes. Here is historic photos of Earth.
Pause.
What is she holding in her hand?
Milk. It's a jar of milk.
A jar of milk. But if you're a real ball knower, so to speak, that is likely raw milk because the raw milk enthusiasts do that whole they let it age usually.
I mean, what?
Chunky.
Why is she holding a jar of raw milk while she's talking about?
I mean, this is a good question. Is it a Poe or no, or is she just signaling to the other knowers that she's hip?
She's down with the raw.
Yeah, let her finish though, because this is an interesting one.
All right, here we go.
Taken by NASA, and when you zoom in on these photos, you can find some interesting things, like the exact same cloud formations.
Same cloud formations. You see this one?
Yeah. So
how this one is slightly different than this one, but it's still the same.
Yeah, that's classic, and it's been debunked so many times. A lot of these images that you're looking at are probably created from satellite images that are mosaic. They've been stitched together, and sometimes in between some of the images, you have empty spaces that you got to fill in. So that's one of the major answers to that. There are other times there are actual repeated cloud structures based on the actual climate, the weather that's happening that day.
Or can the cloud move?
Yeah.
And you see the same cloud in two images?
I doubt that. I doubt it because clouds are constantly shifting their.
Yeah, but look at this one over here. It looks similar, but it's not exactly the same.
It looks like it's moved.
It looks like it just moved. Yeah, and they stitched the photo together, so of course that's now here.
Right. And the other huge thing here, you'll notice when she started, she showed the image of the Earth from Artemis, which was one image, one picture, and then she goes to these images, which are I would bet money are not.
Those
That's
are probably mosaic satellite images.
Zoom into Artemis, and if you saw duplicates there like this, then that would be a story. But she doesn't go there because there is no story.
Also, what resolution would you need of that Artemis image to zoom in close enough that it wasn't blurry? It'd have to be, I don't know, how many pixels?
Ian, can I ask you a question?
Okay.
Does she just hold this thing of milk and never take a swig?
I think she drinks it at the end for entertainment purposes only.
Almost as if they are copied and pasted in Photoshop. But I'm sure that is not the case because our government would never lie to us. And space is totally real. Let me know what you think. So let me get this.
She pretends to take a sip, maybe. Maybe she's not. Maybe she is.
What's with the fucking hair too?
It's part of the shtick. I think it's.
She's just like that believe guy. You know, I'm not saying it was aliens, but.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Okay, so her whole thing is that a stitched mosaic series of satellite pictures disproves that the Artemis picture is legitimate.
Who's chugging the chat?
Right.
And she never drinks that yellow-looking milk.
Scroll up a little. He's up there, Ian.
Who is this? What are you talking? What's happening?
You're not a scientist. You're a religious bigot that defends. Okay. Oh, is this the guy that needs to get banned?
There's just some guy in there. That's,
all right. Goodbye. Should I add him
wait. Let them. Are they talking to him?
All right, fine. Hold on. Silac, is that you? Okay, I'm gonna make you moderator. You can ban whoever you want. Standard remove. Silac has the power.
You don't mess with Silac.
Sounds like he's trolling.
He's gonna. Yeah. I want to read. What's the
guy saying? You believe your God science.
What's he saying?
I don't know. He said something about we believe in the God science.
Well, you're saying not recognizing other people's points of view.
Oh, he's saying that
every view is valid. Every view is sacred. Every sperm is sacred.
So if I say to you that I want to inject bleach into you, that's a valid point of view.
Hey man, it's just like an idea.
What if I inject?
It's just my opinion.
How about I inject hydrochloric acid into you? Is that a valid perspective?
Well, I mean, what does it do for not banding? You're in the band. What do you play? Drums? We already have a drummer. We need a tambourine. What else? What do we not have in the band? Steve plays drums.
I play drums.
Okay, Jay is bass. I also play bass, so we'll have two basses.
Bob plays the congos.
You play the congos?
No.
You mean the bongos?
Cymbals. Cymbals.
Cymbals?
Yeah.
Cymbals. We need a tambourine player.
Bob plays a triangle.
I mean, I took piano lessons as a kid, but
we can get that. Mezzo plays keyboard.
But I want to play the sax.
Ooh.
Well,
but that's going to take a lot of work.
She takes sax lessons.
Bob likes sax.
Saxes are getting louder. All right. Let's move on to the next lady. Whoever this, not lady, whoever this person is. All right. This is actually kind of interesting because of the technology that Disney used. I think I sent you an article.
This was interesting.
I saw this. This is fantastic.
It's fantastic. I mean, he wraps it in conspiracy. But here we go. Here we go.
Get your tinfoil hats out, folks, because this is maybe my favorite conspiracy theory of all time. Okay, so one of the biggest conspiracy theories regarding the lunar landing is that we never went back after the 60s and 70s because we lost the technology. The idea is that the machine...
Okay, did we lose the technology?
No, it's stupid.
No. It's stupid.
Wait, all right, let's just...
I know, we'll go
How
further.
would we have lost the technology?
Well, define lost. I mean, you could...
The movie?
You could say that
15,
it was
16,
lost from
44.
one perspective, but it's kind of metaphorical.
It was never lost.
It's not lost. First of all, we went from the Apollo program to the shuttle program. We're getting better and better at launching stuff into space. Rocketry never went away. We're launching satellites into space. Nothing ever went away.
Except the supply lines went away. I mean, things like that.
Well, what went away was the industrial infrastructure to keep it going, to get that particular program, not space launches in general or not anything else.
But also retiring technical people and deaths. I mean, that kind of
people coming in. I mean, Bob, it's a point is, the NASA space program didn't go away. The Apollo missions ended.
Right.
Then they transitioned to the space shuttle missions. They actually had to repurpose and change some of the infrastructure away from Apollo to the space shuttle. You can't, you couldn't use the same whatever build. They had to change the building, change the towers, whatever. It's like you have to make a clean break and start fresh. But the other thing is that we didn't go back to the moon because there was no reason to go back. We won the space race with the Soviets.
Well, moon-based alpha, good reason to go back. But
I'm just saying that what we didn't do was create a sustainable commercial infrastructure, right?
Right.
It was all one-off, the whole flags and footprints kind of thing. And in fact, that could happen again if we do not create a self-sustaining, commercializable infrastructure.
In 30 years, we could be in a similar situation.
We could be in the exact same boat.
Kind of reinvent the wheel.
We have to manufacture things on the moon and ship them
or whatever. You have to do something where it could be all tourism. It could be
solar arrays,
or it could be energy harvesting, or mining asteroids, or H3 on the regolith.
You will not find me flying in a spacecraft towards the moon. I will never do that.
Probably not. I don't think you'll ever be given the choice to do that.
Would you do it?
I would do it. I'd go to.
Would you do it, Bob?
If it were mature technology,
Oh no, you can't. I'm saying today. Would you have gone on Artemis 2? Bob Novella, hey, it's NASA. We want you. You're great. You're handsome. We want you on Artemis 2. Would you have gone?
At my age, I would
with
go.
A lot of that.
Right? I'm retired. I've raised my kids. Would I take a chance to go to the fucking moon? Yes, I would do that.
Maybe Artemis 6 or 7.
I couldn't do it. I just, I have,
as long as I get
panic
enough
disorder.
Dramamine.
I couldn't do it, man. Oh, that's Steve. That could be a deal breaker for you.
It would be a deal breaker if I couldn't manage it adequately with medication. That's the thing. We're never going to the moon because we are never going to be in the shape necessary
You're right.
for anybody to launch our asses into space.
What if it's
fine.
an end of life decision? You get shot into the moon.
No.
What?
I want to die with my friends and family crying around my bedside while I'm pain-free and spouting my last breaths of wisdom.
Now,
to
like
the
if I'm
world.
like 80
Don't
and I
worry, we'll
realize
live
like I
stream it,
know
Jay.
my,
Well, I'll make sure
I'm
to
like
live
counting
stream it.
months until the great. I'll do anything at that point.
Yeah, true.
That's what I'm saying.
But I think I could handle a launch into the moon.
That's a lot.
I could handle the launch.
bro.
Sure, I psychologically
As
do.
you're launching, you're under like 2 Gs, every bone in your body breaks.
But guys, like, all right, here we are sitting at this table.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, you people out there can't see our studio, but I'm just like using like visual cues, like the big screen there, that wall, to that wall. I mean, that's roughly.
I don't think Steve meant commercialize the moon, but commercialize space travel.
Space travel.
Yeah, but like, unless we put an SGU ad on the moon, what about that?
They're
Big
in a
SGU
tight
logo
space.
on the moon?
They're in a
Ian, I
small,
texted you an
tight
image. All right,
space, floating, constantly floating. It's disorienting, And then there could be those guys, the astronauts,
These
have been
fucking guys.
They have been tested. They have been
I know.
exquisitely tested to not have panic attacks and all this
I
shit.
know that.
You can't have people freaking out in any way. Like they are stone cold Steve Austin up there. They are completely dialed in.
I'm not worried about my anxiety.
I'm not worried. You don't have anxiety.
I'm
I'm
worried
just saying,
about
for
my
me
motion
though,
sickness.
like I couldn't, even though it would be intellectually super interesting and all that. Like I just know myself and I shouldn't go.
Man, experiencing like the gravity of the moon, that would be one of the highlights.
Like jumping really high.
Just like doing anything. Yeah, jumping, just walking. And watching For All Mankind.
Be the first one to hit a golf ball on the moon. Not somebody's done that already.
Yeah.
Shit.
Right.
Throw
Tennis
a frisbee.
ball.
Would that work?
Frisbee.
No, that wouldn't work.
I
either.
saw something really cool.
Yeah?
It was I think Bob, you'll remember this.
Has to work a little bit.
They had a dome.
But it'd
on
be
the
like
moon.
anything. It would just fly. It wouldn't be.
It wouldn't. Yeah,
It would
wouldn't
be
have the
aerodynamic.
airfoil.
So they had a dome on the moon
yeah.
that was like the size of a football field,
Yeah.
right? And there was a person that had wings.
Yeah, it was flying.
Like fake
You
wings.
could fly.
and you could fly because of how light you are.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Yes.
That would be
That
freaking
would be
awesome.
incredible. Yep.
Yep.
What was that
Oh,
movie?
man.
Was it Sleeper? Where he had the balloons attached to him and he's jumping and when he jumps he goes way up in the air and comes back down. Remember that movie Sleeper?
I remember Sleeper with
What's his name?
Yeah.
Woody Allen.
Woody Allen.
Yeah, and he had there was one they were doing
I
this
remember
for
that
fun.
scene.
They
I
had
haven't
these
seen it in a
balloons on him. Like that would be what it's like, and it's pretty cool.
All right, let's listen to the rest of this.
Okay, here we go.
Machinery and the tools that we used to get to the moon were either intentionally destroyed or lost over time. And the engineers that were working on it, they eventually all passed away. And so the actual hardware and the people that took us to the moon are no longer. What if I told you that the reason there hasn't been another lunar landing is because of lost technology? It's just not NASA's, it's Disney. What does Disney have to do with this, you ask? Well, naturally, we never actually went to the moon. We filmed the lunar landing and broadcast that as if it was really happening. Disney had government contracts with the United States. They worked with scientists like Werner von Braun. They filmed a very convincing lunar landing using green screen technology from the 60s that we simply do not have anymore in 2026. Listen to this guy talking about the Disney
All right, this is an actual interesting part.
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
video.
Yeah.
Everything else is just
It's not
stupid.
green screen technology either.
that allowed them to film unbelievable scenes like this one in Mary Poppins that is simply lost
It comes
forever.
from corridor
Instead of a
crew.
blue screen or a green screen, they used what was sometimes called a yellow screen. It was a very specific spectrum of yellow made from a low-pressure sodium vapor light that puts out one wavelength of light. Because it's just one wavelength, you can actually block just that one wavelength or let just that one wavelength go through. So the magic of the sodium vapor process is they used a beam splitter prism so that the light that comes through the lens gets split onto two strips of film at the same time. And that's exactly what you need to get your map. What's kind of magical about it is that you can block that one wavelength of yellow without messing up all of the other colors. In that scene, there's no matte lines. He's motion blurring, he's dancing around. The compositing is impeccable. Yeah, it's perfect. You couldn't have gotten such great blur over the alpha channel with a green screen or a blue screen. To join two pieces of glass and then have layers of material with different indices of refraction, it's a very custom job, and it would probably cost tens of thousands of dollars at a minimum. Apparently there were 3 of these ever made, and also we don't know where any of these prisms are today.
So we did.
Anyway, I mean, that technology is pretty dope. Anybody who's done green screening.
But isn't it kind of ridiculous to think we could make those and now with a huge budget, we can't recreate them, so that's why we didn't go back to the moon. Isn't that kind of ridiculous?
Well, yeah, I don't even get his point.
Lost. Yeah, well, the fact that they lost them, and so that's why we didn't go back to the moon, because that technology, that prism technology, was lost. And it's like, that's ridiculous.
I don't think
we can't recreate it. We can't figure out how to do that again. I mean,
I think Disney owns, from what I understand from watching the Corridor Crew video, Disney owns the technology, so nobody else can use it other than Disney. Like that sodium vapor light, yellow screen tech.
But they let NASA use it in the 60s.
But they let NASA use it in the 60s for whatever, to get motion blur. I don't know. I mean, like, it's like, okay, cool. I guess they're also admitting that the video of the moon landing looks so good that
good point.
You couldn't do it with other technology.
Good point.
So it's like
okay. I mean, there's lots of aspects of the video of astronauts on the surface of the moon that we cannot duplicate even today. You can't fake the
gravity
1/6 G.
Yeah.
Some people say, "Oh, they just slowed down the video." It's like, nope, that would not make it look that way. You could compare it. You also can put people on harnesses so that they. But again, you look at like our best attempt at reproducing that with special effects, and it does not look the same.
Yeah.
Plus,
and don't forget, even slowing down, just from that perspective alone, is untenable, because to slow it down, you need a certain frame speed that's faster. Then you slow that down, and that would require them to have. They didn't really have the technology to have the number they use is 142 minutes of slowed down footage. Would have required so much technology that they didn't even have it at that time. So that's another angle.
Plus, when the lunar rover is driving, the regolith being kicked up by the wheels are arcing in 1/6 G.
Perfect.
You can't? There's no way to fake
thousands, millions of little particles, each with their own trajectories. Yeah, they were doing that. Give me a break.
Okay.
Just like that. That's another one of like the top 3 or 4. Like they could never have faked that.
Okay.
I like the joke that Kubrick faked the moon landing, but he's such a perfectionist. He wanted to shoot it on location.
Right. Yeah. And another quick point to that is it would have cost in a lot of ways much more money to fake it than to actually go there.
Yeah.
And also in a lot of ways impossible to fake. So whatever.
All right. So a slight correction, because Dick Joe, hello, said patents expire though. I just looked it up. The patent did expire for that sodium vapor process 20 years from the filing. So it expired in the 70s.
Yeah.
So the technology does exist. Nobody has recreated it, probably because it's very expensive to make that camera.
And we have
like
digital technology now.
And green and blue screen is like good enough. So why bother? So do you want to change this whole studio into a yellow sodium vapor light studio? Anybody?
It was really cool. If you watch the original video, they were showing, how she had that hat, like a bonnet, and there was lace, like that's actually tied under her chin.
Right.
The fact that you could see the little holes in the lace in that technique is amazing. Like a regular green screen could never pick up that detail.
It'd be very difficult.
Yeah.
It's all part of a longer. You should go watch the Corridor Crew video, everybody. He develops like a machine learning chroma key that pulls out the chroma, the green better. It's not perfect, but it's much better, or somewhat better. But it's a little laborious to process.
Is it fat? Yeah.
You need like a 5090 to run it for like a couple hours.
Yeah.
You can't do it like in OBS instantly.
Okay.
So
not yet.
All right, here we go.
Didn't lose the technology. It just has nothing to do with rockets and shuttles. It has everything to do with green screens and prisms. Disney had this flawless yellow screen prism technology that allowed them to film Mary Poppins' lace transparent hat, or Dick Van Dyke's blurring movement when he dances, or throwing salt all over the place. So all that technology was perfect for a lunar landing where you're stepping on rocks and there's moon dust and the black background with the red, white, and blue. And once those prisms were lost or destroyed, we didn't have the technology to film another lunar landing the last 60 years. You're telling me we can't remake these prisms? He said it costs tens of thousands of dollars. Let's buy 1 billion of them. We can send people to the moon, but we can't rebuild this cube? Forget about the lunar landing. I just want to see movies made this way.
That goes against that goes against your argument, dude.
No, it doesn't even make sense.
He said one good thing at the end.
Yeah, and no practical effects to recreate that black background and the red, white, and blue. I mean, it's just like you can't do that practically.
All right, so that was another dingus on the internet. Thank you so much for that. All right, Firmament.
Yeah, this was just
Are you a flat Earth
favorite
firmament?
flavor of
my
mint.
brain turned off watching this one.
Right, well,
It's like,
yeah.
what?
Hey,
Here we go.
he's got
What's your
similar
point?
puffy
Oh
hair
yeah,
like the other
there's
lady.
something going on.
Where's the milk jar?
Christian, I'm like, oh, you're not a real Christian if you don't believe that there is a firmament. And then I see Artemis 2 and I'm just like, wait, there probably is a firmament. I'm not just saying this because of Genesis 1. Tell me why the live feed was such terrible quality. Meanwhile, they're right by all the satellites that provide us internet. A multi-billion-dollar adventure, but the video quality looked like it was shot on a Razr flip phone. They had cameras outside of the capsule but not inside. This is a very historic event and you're meaning to tell me that there was no inside footage of the crew. No cabin footage? The top
There
speed of
is
the
cabin
capsule is supposed to be-
footage.
I mean, it's like, yeah, there is.
There's
cabin.
tons of cabin footage.
It might not have been like in the live stream necessarily.
No, it wasn't a live stream.
Oh,
if you
never mind,
watched it
wasn't a
long
live stream.
enough.
I mean, I saw that. Yeah, I saw when they were eating. Well, not when he's watching it, obviously.
Yeah,
It's
he
not like-
just didn't see it. Well, he probably looked for 2 seconds. Like, why
Right.
is there no in the cabin footage?
Yeah.
You could sit all over the place.
Yeah, we already covered these.
Yeah.
these
I know
points,
it's
so.
basically the same points. But one thing, you guys grew up, religious, right? Somewhat religious.
Yeah.
Not
Did you guys-
fundamentalist.
Yeah, but did you ever hear of the firmament?
Not until recently.
Not
Not
until-
until
yeah.
like the 10 years ago or something.
Right, like when flat Earth.
I mean, maybe the word, like when it's in the Bible somewhere. I probably
Right.
heard it, but nobody talked about the firmament,
Yeah,
like as if it's
Yeah,
a real
it wasn't
thing.
really a thing.
Yeah, I never heard that until I heard flat earthers talk about it. I was like, what the heck is that?
It's like it's out of Genesis.
Mm-hmm.
Written thousands of years ago by sheep herders who had no idea how the universe was constructed.
I mean, some people think there's a dome
just different
over the wor-
perspectives,
over the
okay?
whatever the flat Earth that rockets will hit.
All right, well, rockets will hit, but is it all because of Satan? Let's
If
watch
you
this.
mirror the image of the Earth
This guy.
taken from the Artemis 2 mission
this guy.
and put those two mirrored images together,
Look at it.
you get
My
a
thought is
very
angel wings.
interesting shape.
kinda
That's
looks
my
like-
first thought.
Kinda-
Oh no, it's Satan wings. Gotcha.
Baphomet. Specifically is this the Temple of Satan?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
It's the one that I think that TV show ripped off.
If this guy's just a character he's playing, then I'd be impressed.
All right, let's
Yeah,
see.
it's pretty good.
Looks like Baphomet, doesn't it? And why don't we take a look at the photo of the Earth
Looking Jack.
taken from the moon when they were apparently orbiting the moon? First of all, it looks like CGI. And secondly,
What
do you
does
notice
CGI
the
look like?
Yeah, what does CGI look like?
Yeah.
How does it look like CGI? Funny how? How am I funny?
Yeah, dude, come on, man. What else you gotta say, bro?
size of the Earth? Now let's compare it to the size of the Earth in the previous photo when taken from the moon. So why is the Earth so much smaller in this photo compared to the previous
Because it's
photo?
zoomed.
Well, wait. I think this photo was taken from the surface of the moon.
Well, all right. How close
Then it should be bigger.
did Apollo? I think the first Apollo mission to go around the moon was Apollo 8. How close to the surface of the moon were they?
Weren't they like
They were-
8,000 or something?
No, they were
70
Yeah, they were
miles. So like 60 to 70 miles.
Okay.
Artemis was 4,000
4,000
miles.
Yeah.
So they probably just zoomed in a little bit, right?
Right.
And that's why like you were saying with the moon in the background, when you zoom in, it looks
Yep.
bigger.
And also, the distance between the Earth and Moon changes a little bit. Right?
Well, yeah, not that much, but yeah.
Yeah, not that much, but that's a component in this, and it's
Yeah.
not
It's probably more
necessarily known.
lenses than anything. Yeah, it's
Uh,
just like
yeah,
you
agreed,
zoom
agreed.
in, optics. Like people don't understand
Oh
how
my
optics
God.
work.
People
It
don't
is a little
understand the
confusing.
basics of photography.
Right.
Right.
A little confusing.
It's like these images are all, processed. They're not. It's like, yeah, like you've never seen an unprocessed image, dude. Unless you have a digital camera and you take it in the raw format, which why would you ever do that? I mean, yes, professionals do, because then they do their own processing. Then they don't show you, can't see the raw data. All digital pictures are processed. That's just the way it is. whatever. They don't understand that. They don't understand how zoom works or telephoto works. They don't understand, light levels and, the whole thing about aperture and f-stop and exposure and like all the technical basics of photography.
Right. I mean, once they get
and then they pronounce that doesn't look right to me.
Yeah.
You have no common sense and no understanding technically of what should look right. So you're just talking out of your ass.
Magnets.
Once they get the information that fits their narrative, they stop.
Yeah.
Any other research is irrelevant because their
It's worse
narrative
than
has
that,
been supported.
because then you have people who actually know what they're talking about, patiently explaining why it's all wrong for the last 50 years. That has zero effect on their narrative.
Yeah, I mean that's not in their information ecosystem.
Ian, check your phone. Like, put that image up. I want people to look at this.
Oh Lord.
Here we go.
I got one from Bob.
Yeah,
that's a different one. Hold on, let me.
There's like, you see something that you don't understand, then you find out what the actual information is. That they just skip over that second process. They see something they don't understand, then they go right to posting nonsense.
Well,
on the
it's
internet.
through the lens of they're already conspiratorial. They are trying to find conspiracies.
Yeah, I know.
So I still bet that there are lens differences here that are being used, and Ian's going to put up a picture that's a cool demonstration of like just the different look that you would get from the same exact distance, everything, just using a different lens.
Yeah, different focal length. Hold on, it's coming through.
He's
any
doing it.
Second now.
Few more seconds.
Few more magical seconds, and then
Thank you very much.
Twisted that.
Inquisitive infidel.
We're gonna stop looking at that guy because he's stupid.
So
All right, here we go.
16 millimeter lens on the left, and then 200 millimeter on the right. Now look at the profound difference in that guy's face.
Wow.
Look at that.
And neck.
It's like, you got to be kidding me.
Did
Is
he
that
do
not
some
even
neck workouts?
Not
in
even
between?
close.
Eyeballs.
Not even close. I mean, they look like two different people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's actually probably partly the explanation for another video you sent us, Ian, about what's his name? Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
Why are these two pictures of Tom Brady? First of all, they're like 20 years apart.
Mm-hmm.
He's clearly like a different weight. And again, it's like a different photograph.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, why aren't these identical? Because they're different photographs 20 years apart.
Yeah, it could be like pre and post certain
whatever
regimens. Let's look at this real quick.
All right, what do we got?
Does someone want to explain
We'll
what's
go back to
happening
Moon in a
here?
second, but here. He's just,
Tom
young-
Brady?
Young Tom Brady. Older Tom Brady who's much skinnier.
He's not
it looks
Tom
like.
Brady.
You could definitely see he's much thinner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
But
your
watch.
face thins out as you get older.
The
I mean, have
nose?
you not?
Well, also he's probably,
Completely
probably lost some
different.
weight
on
there, too.
Ozempic or something,
And the angle's
The
different.
ears?
The angle,
Completely
Exactly.
different.
What? Come on, dude. Are you kidding me?
I mean, it's
he
close.
barely looks like he's 20 here or something. Who knows? He could be like 25 here or something.
I mean, look at Carrie Fisher when she filmed Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, her cheeks are round and puffy. You know what I mean? Like she was like in what? She was like
19.
19? 15 years later. I mean, wait, not even. If you look at her in Return of the Jedi, her face looks very different than the previous movies.
Yes.
Plus, this is 20 years of playing football.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a quarterback. They don't get roughed up as much. But still, looks like his nose took a hit or two there. I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised.
All right, let's get back to the moon a little bit. We're
The
going
moon.
back.
This is Jeremy's dinner, and in space, you really just eat
I don't
all
wanna
of your
see you
food
eating
out of
soup.
bags of some kind,
Turn
plastic
up.
bags or little metallic bags, because we have to rehydrate a lot of our food. This is actually shrimp cocktail.
Yeah, so watch the tail the bag leaves on Jeremy's face. So that's this guy right here. This bag is just floating in the air, and if you don't know with this footage that they send out, all these things that are floating, it's actually CGI, it's completely computer animated, and that's why there's so many inconsistencies with it. And if you look at the edges of it,
And
you'll
this
see
has been rehydrated already,
it makes,
so we
it
added water
distorts.
to it, and the shrimp soaked back up the water, and it's actually pretty
Pretty good CGI if he's like grabbing it and moving it around.
It'd be pretty good. Yeah,
Right?
first of all.
Like, damn, who edited
No,
that?
that's not CGI. So, again, this is like one word, dude, compression. Like, again, this guy doesn't understand something that has been, the answer that you're seeking has been
Artifacts.
out there for decades.
Yep.
That's compression artifact. It's not CGI artifact. They don't look the same. And this guy just has no idea what he's talking about. But again, the answer is there. If he was genuinely intellectually curious, it's not hard to find out.
Steve.
Yeah. The most interesting one is the little dot, which, like, again, it's artifacting.
What's the little dot?
So you see that little red dot there?
No, I don't see it.
Tasty.
You see? Oh, sorry.
They are not.
Sometimes you can see it, sometimes you can't.
So-
on one side.
Here's the little.
You
red
see,
dot.
It's just an
right
angle.
here.
Yeah,
It'll
that's-
kind of
it is
distort.
Exactly. All right. That part is.
Side by
good. Okay.
This is an example
can't
of
put
a
that
food
much
that
detail
has
in there.
not been rehydrated yet. It got
Watch
all
the
dried
dot.
out for
There's the dot.
Yeah.
So they put this red dot on there because that is, if you know anything about video editing, you want to put
Which you don't.
a bright red area on something for motion tracking to keep track of where your
flying
animation's
up here in
going.
space, and those are green beans.
Oh, where'd it go?
That was a different angle.
Yeah, it's clearly
Area
Oh,
on something
that's out there.
for
what is that? I
motion
mean,
tracking to keep
It's just
track
a
of where
label
your
on the
They're flying
animation's
up here in
going.
space, and those are green beans.
It's not there. They forgot to put the red. Wait. Also,
Could it be washed out in that white reflection?
Steve. All I know is that dot disappeared.
That not disappeared.
so why would you put a red dot on something that's CGI
Wait,
if you wanted to motion
Ian,
track it?
Ian, I see a skull in the light reflecting off of that bag. Do you see it?
Yeah, you
Here-ish.
Legit, dude. There's a skull. What the hell is
With
that?
with one huge eye hole?
With one, you're right. One big old. It's a pirate skull. Oh my gosh, space pirates.
Cyclops.
I also see a monkey. The monkey's looking to the right. Oh my God, it looks like a freaking gorilla. The top of the head is the very top of the bag. That big black spot is where the eyes are.
Okay.
You can see the outline of the chin.
Yep.
That's a fucking gorilla.
So what are they trying to tell us?
Dude, it's all there. It's all there all at once.
It's
dude.
all coming out.
It's
now.
all coming out now.
It's all coming in now.
I love
And
it.
it disappears sometimes.
Meanwhile, there's artifact around his head because he's in front of a green
Oh yeah,
screen.
like
I guess
the
he's not
auto
real either.
Green screen. Or
Dude, you're all
background removal.
CGI, dude. All
Demons.
artifact is CGI.
Demons. Here we
Yeah,
go.
so if you know anything about animation, you'll know that this is why they have these dots on things, because you need it to track with the
I don't
program.
think you use that for animation.
Yeah, no, you would use it on a real object.
On a
to
real
track.
object for mocap, not for animation.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
No,
why would
it's
you
all
put it
mocap.
on the?
It's all mocap.
It's
That you
uh,
keep-
Like with
unless you're trying to
Avatar,
fake it, I
Avatar,
guess,
they
is the
had,
idea.
and like the, what do you call it?
Who?
I can't remember. When the guy, they were all playing monkeys. What was those series of movies?
When they're
Planet
all
of the
playing.
Apes?
Yeah, but
monkeys.
the modern ones. You know what I mean? When they,
The Planet of the Apes.
yeah. So if you look at Securus's face, right, because he does one of the
Yeah.
voices, like he's got like 1,000 little dots on his face that
Yeah.
are being projected there.
Oh
and,
yeah.
and it works quite well. Yeah, I agree though. I think it's Satan. I really do.
Oh, okay. Well,
Is
that
it
was-
Satan?
Satan. All right, let's look at this sarcastic guy.
Okay.
These are so sarcasm.
It is amazing how many people don't think we went to the moon. If we didn't go to the moon, then how do you explain this? In 1969, shortly after the Apollo 11 mission, U.S. Ambassador to the Netherlands, J. William Middendorf II, gave a small rock to Dutch Prime Minister Willem Dries as a goodwill gift commemorating the moon landing. It was a moon rock brought by the Apollo 11 astronauts themselves, Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins. After Dries died in 1988, the rock was passed to the Rijksmuseum in Amsterdam, where it was displayed as a prized artifact and drew tens of thousands of visitors. It was insured for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Here's the part that makes it irrefutable that we went to the moon. That moon rock, in 2009, geologists from an Amsterdam university examined it at the museum's request, and what they found was remarkable. After the geologists tested the moon rock, they saw that it was actually just a piece of petrified wood. It was not a moon rock. They suspect it was a piece of petrified wood from Arizona, making it actually not worth much money at all, or worth anything at all. And then when the United States was told this, they basically said, oopsie daisy. Although this moon rock was given by the U.S. Ambassador of the Netherlands, after they tested it and found that it was actually just a piece of wood, NASA and the U.S. Embassy said they weren't the direct source of the item. They didn't claim it was a real moon rock from their collections. Essentially, they just backpedaled and took no responsibility for it at all. We had nothing to do with it.
They
And
made
the
no
mix-up
claims.
on how it ended up being petrified wood being presented as a lunar gift was never fully explained. Possibly a well-intentioned mistake. A classic oopsie daisy. So if you still think we didn't go to the moon, I don't know what I don't know.
All right. So anyway,
Not much.
so that story is true. That it
Yeah.
was like a U.S. ambassador gave the Dutch, whatever, like a supposed moon rock, but it was actually petrified wood from Arizona.
Well, who's to say that guy didn't give it to him without him getting anything from NASA?
Yeah, that's what happened. It's just like an ambassadors in the Netherlands. Ambassadors are just like, they could be anybody.
Yeah.
They're not always professional statesmen. It's often given just as like a perk to friends and whatever. So I don't know. I didn't look deeply into that story. I don't know who that guy was. But okay, some ambassador did something stupid, and NASA and the U.S. government never officially made any claims about it. And also, that looked way too big to be a moon rock that you would give to somebody.
I agree.
They account for every scrap of moon rock that that Apollo missions returned from the moon, and they are very carefully tracked. And you cannot just give them as gifts to people.
And how would that guy get one anyway?
Right? How would he have gotten one anyway?
Yeah, that's the question. What was his source?
His source was the woods.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think we were giving the Netherlands that size piece of the moon? Wouldn't we be giving them to like all of our major allies and like
To study, not to put in.
Absolutely not. That is just the whole story is stupid. But then he's implying that what we never brought back any moon rocks from.
Yeah. What's the implication
so,
there?
So
That-
what are all the moon rocks that actually do exist that have been studied by scientists around the world? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I would like to make
Taking one little piece of information completely out of context and then blowing it up into a huge conspiracy.
I think for every video we saw today, every single person that made those videos, they were high when they made them.
I don't think that's an unnecessary hypothesis.
Not as high as the moon.
Because eventually, you won't be high anymore.
We like the moon.
We like the moon. Is that the Quiznos
Yes.
thing?
I won't be drunk.
I will
but you'll
never
still be
forget that.
ugly.
Sponge monkeys. I think that was.
I was one of the few people that loved that advertisement when
Yeah.
a kid. Everybody hated it.
Everybody hates it.
I
but
thought
I
it was
love it
funny
too.
as shit.
We like the moon.
Probably because I was high at the time.
Okay. Well, you know, it's a certain demographic.
Of course, I was drunk at the time.
All right, last one from the moon. Actors.
Okay, so I have a question. You know how the
this is
Hollywood
just
Walk of
nonsense.
Fame, which is on
Yes,
Hollywood
great.
Boulevard, it's about 2 miles long, with a bunch of famous celebrities, actors, actresses, musicians, and artists. Their names are in stone up and down Hollywood Boulevard. And I do find it interesting that in the past, we would look to the stars for guidance, and now we have Hollywood stars, which, for the vast majority of the masses, they guide them. In a good way, I'm not so sure. But here is something that is very strange you may not have known. Are you aware that astronauts, such as Neil Armstrong, Edwin, and Michael, are also in the Hollywood Walk of Fame? Which is
Yeah,
usually...
it's the Walk of Fame. It's not the Walk of Actors.
Right.
There's other sources of celebrity fame other than being an actor and being an astronaut. And the first dude to step foot on the moon is one of them. Next, this is what stupid people think is being clever.
You know, R2D2 has a star on there, doesn't he? And like, he's not even a person.
R2D2?
Yeah. Didn't they give that, or did he just have
There
the
was a person
footprints?
in there.
There was, but you don't see the guy's name like in any of that.
It's the character R2D2
It's the
that has
character,
the
yeah.
star. Are
you know
sure
what
about that?
other fictional character, the first fictional character rather?
Pee Wee Herman.
Mickey Mouse.
Pee Wee Herman, Mickey Mouse. You're right.
Ah.
Mickey Mouse was the first fictional character.
Mickey Mouse.
To receive a star in 1978.
So a cartoon.
So therefore, he's an actor.
Yes. All right, go ahead. Let's finish this guy off. And
No, why? He shot his wad. We're done.
is that it?
right.
Okay.
I think
Reserved
it's pretty
we
much
finished
it.
him off and he shot his wad.
actors
You're-
and actresses and musicians and artists, but some astronauts are also on.
So
Well,
he
you
kind of
got
like
us, man.
He proves our point in that. It's like, oh, there's musicians and artists and athletes.
Non-actors and actresses.
Non-actors.
Oh.
But also these other famous people.
Yeah. Okay. So he's high too.
Yeah. So anyway, that's basic. Yeah, it's boring. These moon landing hoax and moon.
They got nothing.
They got
They
nothing.
got, yeah, really.
They got
It's just
nothing.
crazy.
You know, so if this is all real, because again, most of these could be posed or whatever.
I know.
But
But it's no dumber than all the stuff that people
Yeah.
are sincerely putting out.
But I
there.
feel sad for them because instead of them being able to see what has taken place and have a good understanding of how much of a Herculean feat it is to pull off these things. I mean, the fact that the SLS, the rocket, it wasn't tested to the degree that SpaceX's rockets are. You know what I mean? Like they have to make it work right. Like without like sending it up and down and up and down and up and down, right? Like it's crazy. The skill level of engineering and everything that goes into just building the rocket that pushes up the payload. And then the freaking technological miracle of sending people in a space capsule that has a small rocket engine on it, powerful but very small rocket engine on it to go around the moon. You know what I mean? It's like you're missing all that. Because you have to hold on to like thinking that you know more than the next guy, or getting off on you think you're in some small amount of people who know the truth. It sucks. It sucks for them because they can't talk about how cool and fantastic it is.
And some of them are school teachers.
That's right.
Oh, Lord,
unfortunately.
Lord,
my God.
Oh my God.
Well, is that it for me and Bob then?
I guess that's it. Well, there's the only other things are. Let's see. We have some things that we're going to do for the TikToks, like. The sun, and also squatting. I don't know, burnt down buildings. Iran and oil conspiracies. They want the oil prices higher. Apparently.
I mean, you could show that.
All right, let's just do that since it's kind of in the news. Obviously,
it's
just painful. But
okay, someone put together this video which completely exposes the truth about what's going on with Iran, with this whole conflict.
And how do you know
his name is
because
Solar?
Some guy on the internet said it.
Correct.
That's your bar for what is absolutely true.
Past archive. And you need to hear this because it is literally what's going on. There's all kinds of stuff you can get wrapped around the axle thinking it's because Trump, it's because Iran, it's because Israel. Listen to this because this is the real reason behind this conflict.
The 2026 Iran war is not about nuclear weapons or freedom. It is a manufactured crisis designed to spike oil prices and lock in the next phase of control.
That's a heavy claim. Walk me through the receipts.
Oil prices jumped over 40% in the first few weeks, exactly like 1973, 1991, 2003, and 2011. Every major Middle East conflict conveniently creates an oil shock.
You're saying the pain is intentional?
Yes. Then they roll out the solution, electric vehicles. They tell you EVs will save you from high gas prices.
Yeah, remember when they were pushing those EVs in the 1970s, guys? You remember that?
Classic.
Can afford a $50,000
the
electric
EVs
car.
are just that's just a distraction.
Right.
What's the real? He's going to say the real reason.
When everything is already expensive. So what happens when they can't buy the EVs either?
Exactly. Then comes the next step they already have planned. 15-minute cities. Everything you need. Food, work,
walkable
healthcare.
cities.
Locked
That's the
inside a small
conspiracy.
zone.
Holy shit! They invented walkable cities.
Yeah.
When?
How'd they get them to walk?
When was this? That's
They-
freaking.
How many legs does a city need?
See, it all makes sense now.
All makes sense.
So
It's
every
all
conflict in the Middle
coming
East was
out.
just engineered to conveniently spike oil prices temporarily.
Yeah.
To use as a pretext to first you do the head fake to EVs, right?
And some people will buy them, but some won't.
And then, but then the real reason is because we want to make walkable cities so that we have people in a controllable environment.
Yes, there it is.
So now it's a game changer in terms of controlling the masses is walkable cities, right? Because otherwise, I mean, conflicts in the major part of the world that produces oil wouldn't spike oil prices,
That's
right?
right.
Unless
Yeah,
it
no.
was.
Yeah, right.
Why would that happen?
It's got to be these
And there's-
engineered things.
It's there was no reason other than that why there would ever be a conflict in the Middle East. It's such a politically stable part of the world. It's got to be something that's just ginned up only to spike oil prices. And of course, it's okay that oil prices are low for decades at a time. They will occasionally spike, and that's all it takes. No fucking
Yep.
Well, and there you have it,
Right,
everybody.
so
So
there's
that I mean, this guy's got his thumb on the pulse,
He's got
man.
his thumb somewhere.
His logic is irrefutable.
All right, well, Bob and I are going to bid you adieu.
Adieu.
Have a great
Adieu.
time, Steve.
Okay, we're
Yeah.
gonna just do two tickety talks. I think that's it. So let's what do we got else coming out? There's a PR episode dropping today. AQ6 is dropping on Monday. That's
But
the
it's
new
dropped. We
schedule.
already have one episode, right?
Yeah, if anybody didn't know, there's already one episode out specifically on Project Hail Mary on Alpha Quadrant 6 YouTube.
The YouTube.
The YouTube. And
also as a podcast, right?
And also as a podcast, so you can listen to it. Blah blah blah.
See ya.
Bye. See you. Everybody.
And
say
political
bye.
reality.
And political reality coming out, and then we have events. We got the stuff that's happening in Australia and New Zealand. Hopefully, we'll actually make it there. In terms of whether or not they cancel our flight, it's not gonna happen. We'll make it. And let me just hit the TikTok music button, so we got some background music. I know people don't like background music. All right. So what else?
Bob!
Your phone, Bob. Okay. Yeah, so make sure if you want to come see us in LA, we have an LA show. You can go to get the tickets on the events page of the SGU website. If you're running into issues with the podcast sub pages, I know there's something's happening with that. I don't know. The server is being weird. I got to fix it. I chose a house, so I'm 20 minutes on foot from work, 15 minutes from groceries, 10 minutes from downtown on bike. Best thing I ever.
You can turn anything into a conspiracy.
Yeah. That's a classic one, too, the 15-minute cities. I've heard that for years. It's not like this guy just made it up, annoyingly.
No, they're not even original. They're recycling long debunked old, really dumb conspiracies.
That's part of the reason why we brought the moon ones today, because, it is all the same old nonsense back again.
Yeah.
So it's very annoying. You try to slap it down, but another one pops up. Yeah, stay nice to me. All right, bye, Silac. See you later. Have fun at work. All right, we're going to do some TikToks. Everybody, stand by.
All right, which one are we going to do first?
Do you want to do this one, the
sun one? All right, so we're going to do a different format. We're going to try a different format.
You're going to maybe just talk about this dude first, right?
Yeah.
And then I'll play a little bit of it.
Then you play just the minimum amount necessary to convey what he's saying.
We'll see if that helps the algorithm. All right, stand by.
So is the sun healthy for you? Is it healthy to be exposed to bright sunlight? Well, yes and no. I mean, there's not really much of a medical controversy around this. Sunlight is good for you. It's good for your mood. It also helps release vitamin D, which is necessary for your bone health. But too much sun can burn you. It has ultraviolet light that can actually cause damage to your skin cells, even to the point of increasing your risk for skin cancer. And yet there's just a persistent myths and conspiracy theories about this very basic standard medical advice about sun exposure. Let's listen to this guy.
The sun does not burn you. What it does is it detoxes you. So if you're exposed to the sun and then you get like a burn and it's all red after, it's because the sun was pulling acids that were already in your body to the surface. But many people have blockages in their skin which stops them from sweating, so it just manifests as a burn. It's like the sun pulls it there and then it gets trapped. And
the toxins. Back in like the 18th, 19th century, before we knew things like germ theory, they thought pus in a wound was a good sign. It was a sign that the wound was healing, not that it was infected and the person was about to die. The sun does not draw toxins out of your skin, and the burning feeling you feel is burning, right? It is burning. That is why it feels that way. It is heat damage, it is energy damage, from the ultraviolet light from the sun. No, everything he said is wrong there. It's not pulling out toxins. It's not as if, and again, he goes on to say that if you're not blocked, whatever that means. I guess it means you're not using sunscreen. You could be in the bright sunlight all day and not get burned. No, you can't. Don't try that at home. You will get a massive sunburn if you try to be out in the sun unprotected. I mean, how bad probably depends on your baseline skin tone. But even for people with a dark skin tone, you can still get a sunburn. So no, do not try that. That is extremely bad advice. Essentially nothing this guy said is real.
Okay, cool. I like that. That was good. Sun Ben.
All right, who's next?
Who's next? Bring them next? To me. Sun Ben. Glunk. All right, so the next one is this.
Oh, the sun burned me.
Not this.
Can we put sunlight inside the body?
Yeah, do like a cleaning. Oh my God! Remember when we fixed?
They
all
did that to
stuff?
Spock in that one episode where they
put
got rid
sunlight
of got rid of the infection.
Maybe that's where President Trump got it. All right, so we'll just talk about this dingo.
All right, I'll give my intro.
All right, here we go. 3, 2.
So what is autoimmune disease? As the name says, auto is self, right? Immune is your immune system, and it's a disease, right? It's a pathological state. It's when your immune system attacks your own tissues. It's actually really difficult to keep the immune system from attacking your tissues, right? We evolved, mammals, lots of animals evolved very sophisticated immune systems that have elaborate mechanisms by which it recognizes self from non-self, and so that it can have a robust immune reaction against unhealthy cells, cancer cells, foreign bodies, bacteria, viruses, etc., but leave your own tissues alone. But that system, like no biological system, works 100%. And so some people have problems either triggered by an infection or just spontaneously where their immune system starts to attack or damage their own tissue. These are the class of diseases that we call autoimmune diseases. The causes are complex. It's a combination of genetics and environment and triggers. Like, sometimes an actual infection can look enough like, it have proteins that look similar to proteins you have in your body, and then the immune system gets confused and basically starts attacking the similar proteins on your own cells, and that could then trigger an immune reaction. But this guy thinks he's got it all sorted out. It's actually, according to him, much simpler than all that.
What does squatting have to do with autoimmune?
When you squat, what it does is it pushes all of the diaphragm pressure down below. So you have 10 organs, 3 of them have muscles, your heart, your stomach, your bladder. The other ones require this pumping action of the diaphragm. When you squat, it pushes out your lower rib cage, forces the diaphragm down, and you can no longer breathe through your neck and shoulders. Autoimmune is simply, at the core of it, it's food staying in your system too long, rotting, poisoning you in your body. If you squat and make this a practice on a daily basis, you'll start to find that you digest better, you eliminate better, you sleep better. Squatting is a fundamental part of life. We used to squat. We don't anymore. So
he actually contradicts himself there. He's saying, well, some organs have muscles and they're okay, but the ones that don't have muscles, you need to squat to get them to work. I mean, why would evolution work that way? I don't know. But then he talks about eliminating stool and toxins from your intestines. Well, guess what? Your intestines are one of the organs that have their own muscles. They have smooth muscle, and there's peristalsis, right, where it's constantly moving stuff through the system. But this is an old, again, alternative medicine kind of thing. Like, you have this buildup of feces and other debris or whatever, and you need to do something in order to get it out. No, it gets out all by itself. Obviously, as we get older, some people have difficulty with regular bowel movements, whatever. Eat your fiber. If you do have symptoms, get it addressed. And moving around in general is good. It is good for you. Just laying in bed all the time is not good for your GI motility. So there is like a kernel of truth in there, but there's nothing magical about squatting. You don't need to squat in order for your intestines to clear out your feces. Things do not build up over years or whatever. That's just all a complete myth, usually used to sell you something. And always be suspicious when somebody has one simple answer for a very complex phenomenon. It's never simple like that. So, this guy is taking, maybe this little kernel of it's better to move than to not move in terms of your gut health. But, this whole thing about squatting is going to magically make you not have autoimmune disease is not true.
All righty. When did that pop up? Okay, there we go. Don't know squat. Don't know squat. That's what I'm calling.
Was there another one?
No, that was the 2 that we picked. But maybe was there another one that you wanted to do?
Wasn't there another one?
Let me see. So we did sunlight does not burn you. Squatting is good.
Those are the 2 medical ones.
Burnt down buildings, which was we kind of done it before. Iran and the oil prices. Wayfair. Body eats its cells by fasting. That was the one. Do you want to do that one?
No.
Okay.
Oh, that's good.
All right. So yeah, because the only other one was like general food conspiracy and urine therapy, which is like.
Which I've probably done before.
Yeah, we've done.
Don't drink your own pee, people.
Yeah, it's like that's weird.
Your body's trying to get rid of stuff.
Not unless you're maybe shipwrecked or something, and you're trying to.
No,
keep
it's
yourself,
not.
even
There's
that
a reason
doesn't
why your body's excreting it. It's the stuff you
Right.
do not want in your body.
So all those like stories about like people drinking their own pee to like keep them hydrated is a myth.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, if you're dehydrated, it's going to be super concentrated, like drinking salt water.
Right. So it's not even.
No,
gonna
you
have
actually
any
can die
liquid. Yeah.
by drinking things that are too saline.
Right. So it's like drinking salt water, right? Like, isn't that part of the problem with people drink
Whose
salt
pee
water?
should I be drinking? Then?
Whose pee? Well, that's up to your doctor.
That's a good point. I would say drink no one's pee. I'm just assuming that people are drinking their own pee. That's the thing. I know you're joking, but
I guess if
that's why you say don't drink your own
if
pee.
your
'Cause that's what
friend is-
people are recommending that people drink their own pee.
What if your friend is fully hydrated and you're dehydrated?
I mean, if you sure, if someone is really hydrated and they have like white urine, like you could be, if you drink a lot, your urine is extremely
clear,
pale.
yeah.
It basically looks like water.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's mostly water. And if you're super dehydrated, sure, I guess.
In a pinch. Haha.
No
pun intended.
What's funny is like people who like are survivalists or they're just like whatever on safari or I've read about this from paleontologists who are like on a dig in Africa, and of course like you're going to be out in the Serengeti or the desert for 2 or 3 months at a time.
Right.
Water is an issue,
Sure.
and there is animal pee in every body of water, right? If there's a pond or whatever, any puddle, any place where there is water, there's a substantial amount of animal pee in it, because that's where all the animals are going. And they said, no matter how many times you boil that stuff, you could never get the taste of pee out of the water.
Yeah. Uric acid, is that where all the flavor comes from?
The flavor of the uric
to
acid.
speak. Sorry, to put that into your brain, everybody?
Oh man, pee is disgusting.
Yeah, kind of gross. Kind of nasty. There's a reason why we pointed away from us. Sprayed away from us. All right. Okay, I think that is it for this week. Thank you so much for joining us. Next week, we're recording another AQ6. We'll see what happens. There'll be an AQ6 dropping Monday.
There should be an AQ6 dropping every Monday now that we broke through the
containment.
the logjam. Yeah, now that the pipeline has gotten all the way through to the end.
Yeah.
We've recorded 7 or 8 episodes, and we're recording 1 or 2 every week, so we should be able to keep ahead. Every couple of weeks, so we should be able to keep ahead.
No, the baseline is going back in the video. Yeah, I know. I was debating it, and we were just trying to get it out real quick, that last video, and I was like, baseline, whatever. People like it. Some people don't like it.
Well, you want the baseline? You have the baseline.
When I made the quick shot video, I just put the backing track, and it was a little.
Can you put it really faint?
It was. I thought it was faint, but it was a little bit louder once YouTube compressed it. It brought up the lower level, and so
that's the thing. Yeah, once you compress it, it changes. The audio always sounds great to me, and then I compress it and send it off. But yeah, it always changes.
I didn't think about it because I was just trying to get it. We were trying to get it out that day. We recorded it that day. That's why we were trying to get it out.
So please continue your whining. I mean, your helpful feedback. About the audio quality.
Always ping me directly.
We do listen to it and actually try to make changes.
That's true. I will actually change it. Also, go on the Reddit. We do have a Reddit for political reality.
Yeah.
So go there. It's posted every time we post a video. So you can comment in there. You know what I mean?
I mean, we're trying to keep the streams distinct. There's SGU, AQ6, and political reality, but they're all produced by SGU Productions.
Right.
So we're also trying to cross promote as well.
Yeah.
So
if you're complaining, why did the SGU get political? We didn't. It's a separate thing.
It's a completely separate property. It's actually me and Andrea Jones-Roy. No one else, none of the other rogues are involved in front of the camera.
Correct.
And she is a political scientist, right?
Yeah. So that's the whole point. Unless you want us to review seasons of The Bachelor, I don't know. We could do that next season. Just kidding. Steve, how do you feel about the audio compression on the season of The Pit?
I don't watch The Pit.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, we haven't talked about The Pit. That might be something interesting to talk about. All right, so I think that's it. Anything else we got to say? No. Thank you for joining us, everybody. We'll see you next week.
See you next Wednesday. Bye. Thank you, Ian.